Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where I'm going to be talking about Real Housewives of New York City, Season 15. This is episode 9. We're moving along, child. Moving right along. But before we go into the episode, I'd like to let you know, just a little housekeeping. Please don't forget to like, so folks can know that I'm over here, because when you subscribe, if you haven't already, that means I'm getting closer to my 1,000 subscribers. Woo! And let me know what you think about the episode and my review. You can comment and you can share with folks. That'll even help me get closer to my 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. Now, Real Housewives of New York City, like I said, they're a little boring. But this episode was a little touching because of towards the end with Erin and her dad. Now, there's some touchy things going on in this episode. So I'm going to say trigger warning. There are some, things that may trigger folks mentally that we haven't really discussed before. And we're going to talk frank. Like I said, this is grown folks over here. Ain't no kids. So hopefully if you got kids or grandkids or great-grandkids, whoever you is, if they're around, for them not to hear nothing in this episode, because this is not for cheering. Just letting you know right now before we really get started. I'll be cussing too. And I hope, that don't offend the cheering already that may be listening. But this review right here, trigger warning, FYI. Now, we're going to talk about where we left off. The picnic resumes, and Erin's walking in, and it gets a little snuffy, huffy, puffy. So Raquel wants them to walk at her engagement party. She's telling them about the theme. It's going to be ballroom. Jessel has no clue of what ballroom is. She never saw Pose. Like, girl, what do you mean? Everybody done seen Pose. It was 3 seasons. Girl, where you been? Again, people be in their own bubble. And we're going to find out later on that somebody else has been in their own bubble and shouldn't be. Child, I can't. Anyway, wait till we get to Ubah part, child. I just can't believe her. Anyway, so we're all, Raquel is explaining the ballroom and how, the theme for their engagement party. And pretty much she wants them to walk. And there's a special, she ain't just talking about walking. Like, you're just going to walk in as you're strolling Central Park, or any walk that you do on a runway as a model. No. There is some moves, some dance moves. They kind of, gave us a little hint of what that is. So then Jessel and her confessional start doing voguing. Yeah, it's a bit of that, but it's some, girl, walking is different than voguing. Even I know that. But then again, I review, if you didn't know, me and my homegirl Erin, not this Erin, not her. Me and my homegirl Erin, we review RuPaul's Drag Race and also RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, which will be coming up soon, All-Stars Season 10. So look out for that, y'all. And also, just a quickie, she and I also review Selling Sunset. We're going to finish that out. She's on her vacation, so when she comes back, we're going to finish that. And we're also reviewing, as of December 5th, Southern Charms comes back. I think it's season 10 or 11. I forget which. So you have some things to look forward to, in addition to all the housewives and and Married to Medicine and The Equalizer and all the stuff that I do. So yeah, y'all, we gaining traction. All right. So, like I said, Raquel is letting them know about the ballroom scene, and pretty much she wants them to walk so that they got to learn learn some rhythm. For those who don't know how or don't or need some help, get some, get you a tutor or something. Anyway, so Ubah has a fibroid issue, and she's letting them know that she needs surgery. And then pretty much Brynn has a rumor game. Pretty much, we're all going to go around the table and tell everyone a rumor about yourself, and then we'll just expose everybody. Girl, Brynn, I already said how I feel about you last. I'm not impressed. And neither is this game helping my impression of you. I would have just sat this one out. But no, I don't have no rumors. But they participated. You know how they do. It is what it is. So pretty much Jessel said that she tricked Pavit into marrying her. Pretty much tricked, meaning because her visa was running out in about 2 weeks and they were already engaged, she told him that she needs to get married immediately. And then a year later, they had their big to do. So I guess they just went to the courthouse or what have you and took care of that. Okay, that's cute. What else happened? Jessel asked Rebecca about Tom Cruise because everybody wants to know about Scientology. So the whole thing was Rebecca says, the rumors about Scientology. So she pretty much explained what she explained, I think maybe episode 2 or 3, whenever we were introduced to her and we got some more background. So pretty much because she is is it Jewish? Forgive me, I'm sorry. She practices Judaism and Scientology, and she explained Scientology was pretty much the tools to help her get through life when it's stressful, and the layman's terms of it all outside of Judaism. But I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, everyone's book, every how can I say this? Every religious organization's go-to book, whether if it's the Bible, Quran, I'm not sure what it's called for Judaism. Is the Bible too? Child, I don't know. And even Catholics have the Bible, of course. Whatever, biblical, religious, spiritual reference item that's tangible that they read or go to. I thought those gave you the tools. I know the basic instructions before leaving Earth does. I've been taught that all my life, teaching you how to, be good, and discernment pretty much what Scientology seems, according to Rebecca. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I could be wrong. But apparently Scientology doesn't believe that any religious reference materials have that in them. So they have Scientology. Interesting. And there's no God factor in Scientology. Okay. Okay, to each his own. So then Jenna believes religion is the number one killer of people. Jenna, you're one of those people. I don't even believe that to be true. Hey, we all have our differences. It's all good. That's what makes the world go round. And then Raquel pretty much brings, but we're done with that dumbass game. So then Raquel confronts Erin, not like in an argumentative way, but just, kind of, because she kind of, anyway, Raquel confronts Erin about the prank, and pretty much Erin denies that Brynn knew, But Brynn was like, yeah, you told me. And then I started to let you know, okay, I'll cook it up and just say this and say that. Erin outright denies it. And then Rebecca didn't know that Brynn knew. And Raquel was pretty much pointing out the fact that, well, if other people knew and your homegirl who's in it didn't know, doesn't it make it seem problematic? I mean, if it just seemed like Erin took it upon herself to mix it up a little bit to make it. I don't know. I don't know what Erin was thinking, but then Erin is denying all of this. And then Erin asked Raquel why she's so mad. And pretty much Raquel was like, because people started to believe that they couldn't trust other people based off of this prank or lie that was told to try and prove that people can't be trusted. When actually it's you. You're the one. And other people, and that's what Sai said, like, well, she's the one. And then Jenna was like, yeah, she putting, this wasn't a good idea, especially messing with people's marriages. Jenna was like off the rip, nah, and with all that. It was pretty interesting. And then Brynn is surprised Erin is denying the fact that they had the conversation. Because, like I said, Erin is denying all of that. And I'm like, just again, Raquel points out that people were not trusting each other because of Erin. And now Erin is mad for being blamed, and she feels like, people are making her the scapegoat. But now, Heifer, you the one. Even your own partner in crime that brought it to you didn't even know that you telling certain people. According to Rebecca, only Raquel knew. But apparently Brynn knew. Ubah said she knew. Girl, I guess. Now, anyway, so after all that's done, next we see Jenna and Erin have lunch, and Erin is happy that Jenna is taking more time out to be more of a friend because, that was the issue. Was it episode 1 or 2? Because Erin took Jenna as someone who's very surface and didn't really want to get to know her. Erin. Anyway, and then Erin mentioned that her dad is sick and she's just been, trying to keep it together. And of course, her mom is having cancer treatments. And then she brings up the fact that, and here it is, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Erin is nervous about her abortion story in Glamour magazine. The editor-in-chief is one of her good friends, and because of the plight, what's going on with Roe v. Wade, being tore apart for the most part, she's, going to tell her side, not her side, but she's going to tell her story in the magazine. And then Jenna tells her story. And so I'm like, well, dang, who didn't have one? I'm like, it's a whole lot of, but just trying to make light of it. But yeah, so pretty much, both of them have their story. I'm not even going to tell their story. You can find out in the episode, but they have a story to tell about their, reasons for, having an abortion when they were kids, not children, but, young adults. And that, it was a bonding moment, bond over abortion. Ain't that nothing? Next, we see Jenna and at the house with her chef teaching Beckett to cook because this is his last year at the house. He'll be heading off to college, doing his college thing next summer. Right now it's summer. So he got about 12 months to learn how to cook, I guess. And child, in the midst of all this, Beckett cussed. He said bullshit. And I'm like, I rewind it to see, was that the chef saying it? Or was that the 17-year-old? Do you see? From my understanding, people who at least are religious don't allow their kids to cuss. Not at 17 in front of their parent. See, okay, I'm gonna say this, and it is what it is when I say it. When you don't have a certain structure, and when you allow children to act like adults, Don't be surprised when they do things like adults that you don't approve of. And then you're forced to have to accept it and tolerate it because you trained them the way that you've trained them. I believe that children should be children as long as possible because they have their whole lives to do adult shit. And one of them is cussing. It is so disrespectful. Some people don't care about that, but I do. Can't no I have an issue with that, and you in high school when you cut? No, Jenna. Good luck. Let's just hope he don't do something that you're forced to have to tolerate that you should have nipped in the bud or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I can't believe he cussing. Child, a lot of us was like, what? All right, next we got Ubah. Remember when I said Ubah had fibroids? She announced it at the picnic. Now this part is done tick me off. So she went to the fertility clinic because she wants a baby. She's 40 years old, and her mama had her when her mom was 44. And of course, it wasn't an issue. But at the same time, pretty much how we live our lives affect what's going on inside of our bodies. And I'm sure, being that her mom is from, I forget which country in Africa she's from. Because over there, there's more toxins over here per se. So there's more ways for our bodies to, react in ways that may not be conducive to our best selves. So because it is, and what got me was the conversation she had with the fertility expert or whatever that they're I don't know if she was the secretary or she intake. I don't know exactly what her role was. However, the conversation was very surface and not helpful for Ubah. The fact that there are statistics out there and have been out there for decades about how Pan-African women, especially in Western civilization, have a higher rate of fibroids than any other demographic of woman. And that wasn't even discussed. The intake lady, whoever she was at this fertility clinic, didn't even mention that to Ubah. And the fact that Ubah didn't know is even more horrifying because she doesn't even know about her own demographic of person. There has to be a law against this. Ladies, men, whoever is listening, know yourself, know your demographic. I know this. I have family members who have dealt with this. It is a crying shame that Ubah and the fertility, I don't know what's worse, whether it's Ubah who didn't know, but then again, she's living a lifestyle that really doesn't consist of a whole lot of, knowledge of Blackness. It is what it is. And so she's just consumed with other things instead of knowing about what affects her and people who are like her. And it's a crying shame. And I'm not even going to go on that tangent. Let me just remember to stay focused. And what's also similarly horrifying is this fertility clinic that's not giving her that statistic. They didn't even research anything before talking to her. They just want to hear her. See, this is why there's disparages in healthcare, because people like at that fertility clinic intake person don't care enough to even find out. She probably heard about it, but didn't care enough to even find out. And the fact that she is in healthcare, she should have found out. Ubah, if you're listening, watching and listening, don't take offense, girl. But I really hope that by now you would have found all this information out about how fibroid, probably at the reunion, it's probably going to be discussed. Anyway, I'm just saying, girl, call me. Look me up. as you see, there's my info. You can either do RAERAE all day on Blue Sky, RAERAE all day on YouTube, or at All Day RAERAE on IG or Threads. Girl, I'll give you I'll give you what you need to know, or I can hook you up to somebody else who can give you more information than what I can give you. But girl, come on now. Anyway, so that's what ticked me off. But overall, best of luck to you and your health and in your gynecology and obstetric health. And I hope that you don't resort to medication because, like the fertility clinic said, well, if you want to have a baby, that may be difficult because the medications for fibroids will pretty much combat that. So, that's pretty much what that conversation was. Anyway, girl, don't go back to that fertility clinic. Please, I hope you don't. What's next? Okay, so Erin, during the interview at Glamour, it was just real quick and everything. Wasn't a whole lot there. She tells her story. But the trick thing about this is she actually slips up. To me, she slipped up and just said, yeah, my mom went through it too. Does your mom know you told her business? I'm just asking because it didn't seem like you said, and my mom gives me permission to say, I'm just saying. Next, we got Jenna meets up with Raquel, and they talk about the prank. Raquel's curious. Well, first of all, they meet up at a art gallery, and they're going over how much stuff costs. Girl, I don't know nothing about art like that. Like I said before, when they were at the art gallery before, I don't know nothing about this. Abstract is not my thing. I'm real particular. I'm black and white and gray in the middle. I don't do abstract. So yeah, that's pretty much on the art piece. Like I said, they talked about the prank. Raquel curious about how Erin felt after the picnic because they were, going back and forth, and Raquel wants to fix it. And they were kind of being, real touchy feely. And then in the confessional, Jenna was asked or discussed that she got a hall pass and she never used it. And she was commenting on Raquel's legs. And she said, oh, we're about the same age, but your legs are just ridiculous. All right, y'all. Here we go. Anyway, where are we at now? Okay, so Sai visits Ubah, and Sai is so pleasantly surprised that it smells like essential oils in her house, reminds her of her mom because her mom used to. Oh, how sweet. Well, it is what it is. And they talk about Erin and singling her out. Ubah, I mean, you talking about Erin was, then they reference back at the part how Erin was getting upset, of course, like she was getting upset, like I mentioned, and then trying to single Ubah out. And this is Ubah talking, that Ubah's trying to gaslight Erin, that Erin's trying to gaslight people and child. So now Ubah and Erin got an issue. Child, Ubah, girl, calm down. Well, I guess Ubah's bringing it because she having issues with almost everybody, I guess. What else happened, child? Pretty much trying to say that Jenna hates, trying to gaslight Jenna to hate Erin. Ubah was by mentioning that Erin was, being the pigeon, the stool pigeon. And then Sai says Erin has done that to everyone, pretty much just trying to gaslight people and not really, take ownership or not really be, accountable. And then we go back and forth. Raquel pretty much says that Brynn put 20 on 10. They're going back and forth between scenes. Raquel said Brynn put 20 on 10 and is, just cautious. Jenna says, well, that's Brynn. That's Brynn, that's what she does. And it is what it is. You would recognize it, and you may not believe everything she says because that's what she do. But that's just, something Raquel noticed about Brynn. And regarding that prank story, child, that was it for all in. Then we got Erin meets with her dad, Eli, and then this is another tearjerky, child, because okay, so Erin meets with her dad. mentioned, "Oh, you look good. Last time I saw you, your color was green," and yada yada, because he wasn't feeling well. And you can tell he looked sick, y'all, coughing, lying about his health, and it was obvious that he was not feeling well. And they tell us that 4 months later, he passed away after that particular scene. So it was, what, 2 months ago? Because this was about 6 months ago. It was pretty sad. So pretty much, Erin is there to tell him about her abortion that she did back when she was 18 or 19 years old. And this is interesting. She's telling him, slow mo to tell him, because it's going to come out in a magazine article, and then he was, shocked, but not, you know, child, he looked sick, and I hate to say that, but that man looked really sick, and it's so sad. But he was supportive, and then again, then she says, "Well, mom, I told mom about a year later, and she said she had one too. Did you know?" I'm like, why does she keep telling her mom business like this again? And he was like, "No, I didn't know." And then, child, are you sitting down for this part? Then he tells his abortion story. Well, yeah, I got somebody pregnant back then, and she was mad after the fact, and she hated me carrying on and whatnot. I'm like, well, who ain't had an abortion? Just trying to make light of it, y'all, but abortion is serious. Frankly, I don't believe in it. Only if it's a matter of life or death for the mother. Um, in case of some violent interaction. I don't believe it should be a form of birth control. That's how I feel about it, but this isn't about that. But I just wanted to make folks aware that if they are in trouble and they need to take care of themselves, find out where they can, because this new administration coming in, unfortunately, you may be stuck in some type of way. So prepare yourself before you get pregnant, hopefully. And if you need to prepare yourself after you get pregnant, then you got to be careful about that, because child, no, be careful. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, 4 months later, after that theme, he passed away. So rest in peace to Erin's dad, Mr. Eli. All right, y'all. So that was it for Real Housewives of New York City, season 15, episode 9. We got like 5, 6 more episodes left. Child, that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you. I check you next time. And I think we're going to have Salt Lake City coming up tomorrow. All right, then. Bye, y'all. All day.